Hello, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to today's session. You may go to our Facebook page and click like. All right. So it's a great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker for today, who is going to share with us his thoughts and experiences. All right. So today's topic provides an overview of the transfer and diffusion of information technology for organization. Our speaker is an experienced analytics specialist with a demonstrated in the industry with variety domain exposure and also international organization. Okay, so I'm very pleased to welcome Mr. Surendran for our session today. Hello,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Surendran. Good morning. How are you today?
Thank you, Ms. Ranti. Never been better. I just have my cup of coffee to keep me awake, my daily dose. So, how are you?
All right. I'm good today. I'm so happy today to see you. Okay, all right. So before we continue, I need to maybe we need to know what resilience is. Okay, so let's look at this. The word resilience. So what is resilience actually? So actually, it is the ability to get ready and adapt to changing conditions and withstand and recover rapidly from disruptions. Okay, so our topic for today is empowered resilience, the transfer and diffusion of information technology for so resilient communities empower their people or team to adapt to shock or changes. Why do we need to do this? Why do we need to do that? Okay, so here we can see that information technology have play a very important role, okay, so in building resilience to multiple shocks and giving a voice to people and also organization. So my first question, Mr. Surendran, how information technology playing an important role for resilience, especially during this pandemic?
Okay. How information technology playing important role in resilience? Actually, before this, organizations already apply information technology. I couldn't say no, but during this pandemic, they are being forced to optimize to use information technology than before. I mean, like before, still there is a manual work. For example, when we are having meeting or conference, we are still face to face. We need to set up a meeting room. We need to wait for the rest to come. In order for us to wait for the others to come, it will take times, right? But now with the situation of pandemic have forced all the organizations to have meeting and conference on online. So for me, to have a meeting or conference or online much more efficient, because everybody can be gather at the same time without delaying, without need to wait for others. Then apart from that, we save much time from traveling. Like example, if we have conference in overseas, we need to spend some time to go to overseas. Spending time there, expenditure for the traveling, expenditure for the entertainment, and also meals. This kind of sort of things that company spending when they send their employee to overseas for MOU, for conference or meeting. But with this pandemic, they are being forced to use Skype, Zoom, Google Meet in order to have conference. So they don't have to do spending on traveling for this sort of meeting. So it's quite safe, with this new methods of meeting. Besides that, I would like to share my personal experience that I was in the supply chain, data science in practice data science in the supply chain. So what I observed my previous company, even though we are MNC, multinational company, but we have problem that some of our work is still manual. An example like when we want to purchase something or want to purchase product, want to procure product or services, we have CBE, commercial bid evaluation. We also have TBE, technical bid evaluations. So all this evaluation is being done in Excel. The buyer, the requester from other parts of the world will issue the material services that they want in Excel. Then they will send in an email to the buyer. Then the buyer check it after overnight. Like say go around it. Then once they check material, they cannot procure straight away. They need to check on the database. We call material catalog. You need to check or browsing through or glance through or check through whether the material is already existed in our data warehouse. So that we don't order redundant materials or services as well. And this is so manual. The process of P2P, procure to pay, from procurement to pay is very manual. So what we done during this pandemic, during these pandemic years, we have automated all the way the P2P, procure to pay, by automate the system using SharePoint. Since from the end of the user, when they want to procure product or services, we create a pipeline there. The pipeline will transfer the materials and will check by itself in the database, our ERP enterprise systems. Then from there, it will be alerted. It will send an alert email to the buyer. The buyer just need to one click and see, okay, the material is okay, and the computer is doing good. Just click it, and it will be automatically transferred to the authorized personnel, so that it's okay to procure this product and services. Normally the P2P time taken can be 20 days, can be 30 days, but with this pipeline, we reduce the timeline to 2 days, 3 days, most probably I can say 5 days. That much of time reduced that much of time saved that we save when we infuse technology into, not infuse, I can say optimize technology in our organization. Besides that, I can say that most of organization, they have data integrity problem. I mean, I can say the data is not centralized. During this pandemic, it has forced companies and organizations to purchase or to use a centralized database, so that everyone can access, or every department can access the same information at once, without redundant information, or without the need of to ask, can you send me your Excel so that I can evaluate, this pandemic have forced organization to have a centralized database. So this centralized database have helped a lot of organization to do business decision from the data they have. Okay, I couldn't say more from my experience that when big company, they have a lot of Excel file for the CBE, commercial bid evaluation. Whenever they want to procure things, they will open in Excel, evaluate a vendor, how much the material is, how much they can bargain, these sort of things. Then we will have 1,000, maybe more than 1,000 Excel deposited in the folder of a company. So a buyer couldn't go and check one by one. So the buyer don't have any idea of what the same material being purchased previously. So without that idea, he could not bargain to purchase the same material for present. So with automations, we able to use business intelligence tool to scrap all this data into a cloud, and from the cloud, it able to summarize and give it in a very I can say in very easily manner, so that the procure or the buyer can see and have an idea like what is the ideal price for them to bargain. So it gives negotiation power to the negotiation power to the buyer. You know, they, since they have the idea of what is the price of purchase for that same material that they want to purchase now, so they will have a better idea and they can negotiate a better price for it. So this sort of thing that technology helps. Apart from it, during this pandemic itself, I can say that when the beginning of the pandemic on 2020, around the March, when the number of cases is rising, right? So when the cases is arising, most of the company, they don't have idea like what's going to happen, you know. So they do a lot of procure, they buy products and services from a country like badly affected, like China, for example, Italy. So my company was a national multinational company and oil and gas. So we can't afford to not to have our products or services or materials to be delivered, since we're in the middle of the sea, you know. So it's all a lot of money. And with technology, we able to use some business intelligence tool to tell us that the cases in Japan and Italy is rising up. So we can alert all others buyer automatically, don't purchase any product or services from this particular country, so that we won't have any hiccup in our project. You know, you see this kind of things that technology help. It avoid us from having a hiccup in our project. Small project is okay, but a big project like drilling and all, you couldn't have, you can't afford to have all this hiccup, you know. And it costs money and it costs life as well. Apart from that, another experience I can say about infused technology would be we using data. Since you know IR 4.0, it has been the talk of the town, I can say it. Okay, we are in the fourth revolution industry. I can say that first revolution will be the industrial revolution begins, where mechanization of manufacturing with the introduction of steam and also water power. The second revolution would be like production of assembly lines using electrical power. And the third revolution is revolving around automated productions using electronics, programmable logic like controllers, PLC, and also IT system and robotics. And now we are in the fourth revolution, where autonomous decisions making a cyber physical system, like using machine learning through cloud technology. So I think I can say I can highlight the pillars. I would like to highlight the pillars of 4.0. Yeah, I don't really remember because it is quite a lot. I mean, it is evolving time to time. You know, last time they say it got 4 pillars, then 5, then someone said 6, but now then I see now it's like 9. So the first pillar being, yep.
I think we need 9 pillars, Mr. Suran.
Yeah, the pillars of in fourth revolution will be cyber security, cloud computing, mobile technology, machine to machine, 3D printing, advanced robotic, big data or analytics, IoT, which is Internet of Things, and also cognitive computing. So these are the 9 pillars, which now maybe it can be add up more in future, because we know that IT is something of vast scope and it's rapidly changing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Suran. About
Yes, Ms. Rianti.
adaptability is one of the components
I
to
I
secure the business or organization, right?
yep.
To adapt.
I have
To make
the
sure that what we need to do. So you did mention about adaptability is one of the components to secure the business. So could you please explain to us how people can adapt to new work environment and culture
okay.
in terms
When
of
come
within the organization itself?
understand when come to adaptability, what I observe, there's two adaptability. One is like on the organization level, and one is our individual level. On organization level, when you know that internet, or I'm sorry, I can say that information technology is rapidly changing. So of course, when the IR 4.0 is introduced, we still have the gap of knowledge. In order to fill up, I mean, we cannot avoid the gap of knowledge, because like people working in 10 years or 20 years in the company, they most probably very good in Excel, very good in C++, or maybe C, in IT. Yeah. But because of the technology changing, they are not able to perform well using the new technology, which is like business intelligence tool, like using Google Analytics, Google 360, MicroStrategy, Power BI, and also Tableau, in fact, right? So we couldn't blame anyone here. So in order to fill up the gaps, what can be done by organization is like provide a continuous training. I believe that each organizations, they have a department called uh, I've forgotten the name of department. Department where they will improve the employee.
Development.
Yes, human development, where they will improve the employee skills time to time, and when there is need, they will send the employee to training. But of course, now because of the pandemic, we couldn't go training face to face. But there's a lot of training online, which employee can give to the employers can give to the employee time to time to train to fill up the gap knowledge, especially the 9 pillars that I mentioned to you, which is mushrooming nowadays, right? Mushrooming because it's appear like so much and rapidly growing, so we can fill up the gap by have training, and also we also can fill up the gap by uh, sharing knowledge between the colleagues. I think colleagues have to work in a have to work in a situation such that they should share their knowledge, because sharing doesn't mean that it will deplete your knowledge. It will make your knowledge more. It will expand your knowledge more, and at the same time, I can say that it bring up you and your colleagues more in better relationship. You become more closer, become more good friends. When you good friends, you create a good environment to work, so that you won't feel like this is a toxic environment, because there is a communication, there is also empathy, and also like helping there. When your friends not good in this tool, you help them to pick up the skills. I think that's what in organization can be done. And at the same time, maybe every time there's stand-up meeting, organization can do sharing session, whereby they can update all the employees what is the new technologies that are on the market now, and what we can use, how we can use the technology to improve our current business process, to make it more effective, to make it more efficient, and so on. And
Yes, that's
come up to individual level. Individual level mean you must have your self conscious, or self learning. Like that you have lack knowledge on data science, on cloud computing, which is which is maybe it's towards your work. Like example, you are personnel which using Excel a lot in your day-to-day work. So maybe you can change it to use business intelligence instead of using Excel. For, change it. The presentation use
Mr. Surendran, this is where we need the training, right, Mr. Surendran?
yeah.
And individual, I need to go for training, isn't it? Where it costs us money. So,
Okay.
what do you say about this?
Coming up to this training involving money, I think that nowadays people couldn't give any reason that they don't I don't have money, I couldn't go training, because there's a lot of free training outside there on online. You just need to grab it. And apart from that, our human resource ministry have provide an initiative by coming out with HRDF. So this HRDF even funded fully funded courses that they try to train Malaysian to pick up with the IR 4.0 technologies. So I can say that there is no reason for you to say that I don't have money to go for training. And because even though if HRDF is on there, I mean, your company don't have the budget to send you to training, but you still can pick up the knowledge or the skills from online, because nowadays there's abundance of online free online training and materials. I mean, as easy as in YouTube, right?
Yes, I agree with you, Mr. Surendran. Okay, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of points to get with this session. Another question for you, Mr. Surendran. You share your experience, your working experience with your organization just now, but is there any challenges to implement this? I mean, is there any challenges of IT? Any difficulty?
Any challenges?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The difficulty that I mentioned just now, the knowledge gap. Okay, because when you want to work in a team, which is, example, I'm data science is a new thing. So we have a small team. In order for you to do big data, you need to have a complete team, like from data scientists, business analysts, data engineer. But when some company they are not ready yet, they don't have data engineer. You have to do the work of data engineer as well. You have to become a full stack data scientist or full stack data business intelligence. From end to end, you have to work by yourself. So I can say that the gap of skills people. But I think the gap is being filled up by by most of the university in Malaysia. They're providing master in data science, which is, I think, is a very good thing. And I can see that coming up generation also, there are more enthusiasms. They show more enthusiasm on data science. There have been like a lot of training outside in there, like KL AI school, KL AI school, DevCon community, and we also have Omdana from overseas collaborations. I can see a lot of Malaysian younger generation being involving actively in this AI organization, because yep, I can see that.
AI growth so fast in Malaysia today, artificial intelligence. So, audience, if you need help from Mr. Surendran, you can go and ask Mr. Surendran anytime. Am I right, Mr. Surendran?
Yeah.
Right.
And I would like to highlight the data science here. Do we still have time, Miss Zurianti?
Yeah, you have. We have about 5 to 6 minutes more.
Oh, okay. People always confuse what is data science, AI, and machine learning. I can say that data science is actually a distinction where it's always a human in the loop, like someone in understanding this insight, seeing the figure, or benefiting from conclusion. It is senseless for me to say that our chess playing algorithm use data science to choose its next move. It also will be senseless for me to say that Google Map use data science to recommend driving directions. So, data science definition can be emphasized as statistical inference, data visualizations, experiment design, domain knowledge, and also communication. And data scientists also use simple tools like report percentage, line graph based on SQL queries. They also can use very complex method like distributed data store to analyze trillions of record. And also data scientists can develop cutting edge statistical techniques and also build interactive visualization to convey the idea or the insight of the data. And all these methods are being used by data scientists because of the goal is to gain a better understanding of their data.
I see. Mr. Surendran, thank you for your sharing. So to conclude our session for today, so as business accelerate the pace of development and adoption of new technology, IT and technology service resilience, increasing role in business resilience. So organization and security professionals and also people like Mrs. Rangan, data scientists, must be proactive and take charge to ensure IT resilience in this complicated world. All right. So thank you very much, Mr. Surendran, for an enlightening and entertaining session today with us. So we really appreciate you making time in your busy schedule to be with us today. And thank you again for your time, Mr. Surendran. Hope to see you again.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Rianti. I'm honored.
All right. Okay. So audience, you may like our page and you can also view the recorder. You can also get help from Mr. Surendran if you need help in future. Okay. So thank you, Mr. Surendran, and thank you, audience. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.